Welcome back once again to another exciting episode of X-ray education. Okay, so what we're doing today, we're taking a look-see at the liver, and I wanted to, hopefully this is going to work like I want it to. Okay, this area out here, we see that the liver is this great big organ. You guys all know what that looks like. Nestled in the liver, kind of below it and off to the right, we have the gallbladder. Right here it goes. And the gallbladder connects to the common bile duct via the cystic duct. Now, inside the cystic duct is a spiral valve. It's a two-way valve, and it can let fluid flow into the gallbladder, and then when the gallbladder squeezes for digestion, it can let the fluid, the bile, flow out of the gallbladder, down through the common bile duct, and into the duodenum. Now, up here in the liver, we have hepatic ducts. We have the left and the right hepatic ducts. The left and the right hepatic ducts form the common hepatic duct. So those guys all come together. Right here, this common hepatic duct. And then the common hepatic duct joins with the cystic duct to become the common bile duct. And over here we have the pancreas, and the pancreas, it's one of its main jobs is to produce insulin, but it also produces pancreatic enzymes that enable us to digest our food better. It's a big help. Now, occasionally there will be a minor and a major pancreatic duct. Some people have both of those, some only have the major. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it still works the same way. It just, it's what they call a normal anatomical variation. So the pancreatic duct, which is also known as the duct of Wirsung, it leads down here through the pancreas and into the common bile duct right here. And where the pancreatic duct and the common bile duct come together is called the ampulla of Vater. It's like a wide area of this vessel. And right below the ampulla of Vater, there is a sphincter of Oddi. That's a muscular structure there that keeps this thing closed unless you're digesting fat. If you start digesting fat, then this sphincter is supposed to open and let your bile into the duodenum so that you can digest your food. Now, if this sphincter has got something wrong with it to where it won't close, then when the when the gallbladder squeezes down, like your body senses that there's fat on board, and the gallbladder tries to squeeze, then the pressure in the ampulla and the common bile duct are going to spike, and that's going to cause the patient to be really, really in pain. They're going to feel a terrible pain every time they eat anything with fat in it. Now, we can probably fix that by repairing this sphincter, and that's a sphincterotomy the doctor does sometimes. And you'll notice in an ERCP, sometimes the doctor will go in and he'll cut that sphincter a little bit, and all of a sudden it'll release a flow of black and green bile that's been pent up in there for a long time. And that might be all the patient needs, that might give them relief. So anyways, right here below the ampulla of Vater, then there's the sphincter of Oddi, and then below that is the papilla of Vater. So it's kind of a sandwich with a sphincter in the middle. The papilla is inside the duodenum, and the ampulla is actually at the base of the common bile duct / pancreatic duct. Okay, so that basically is how that goes. Now, if y'all would, just hold on for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, and here is another diagram. Now, this one's a little bit better than the little hand drawing that I had a second ago. This actually shows us some color representation. So here's the gallbladder, the liver, the left and the right hepatic ducts. Right here, those green things there. This blue stuff is the portal system, and we'll talk about that later. We haven't really covered that at all. And then, of course, we have arterial blood supply to all these organs. These things are very vascular. If you get stabbed in the liver, you're in trouble because there's a lot of blood vessels in there, and that can be a bad day for you. So anyways, here's the pancreas, and we see this pancreatic duct coming down and joining up with this common bile duct. And again, we see this accessory duct. And like we were talking about earlier, that may or may not be present in all patients. Some people have it and some people don't. And over here, like to the left of the pancreas and nestled in, this is a part of the intestine, or probably the stomach, more like. But right here goes the spleen. That is a lymphatic organ, and it has to do with breaking down and recycling the elements from your blood. So basically what it does is like recycle old red blood cells is its main job. Okay, so here's the setup. We've got the left and the right hepatic ducts, common hepatic duct, cystic duct joining up to form the common hepatic duct. In this diagram it's called the bile duct. And it all comes together into the duodenum. And like I said earlier, ordinarily this thing is closed. So when your liver is generating bile, it's going down through this tube, and it gets down to the sphincter. It can't go anywhere, so the pressure causes it to back up, and it backs up into the gallbladder. And the gallbladder absorbs the excess water from the bile, and so it sits there and it basically concentrates. And then if there's too much bile in here, then it'll just release into the duodenum. Otherwise, it waits until you're eating, and then it releases. If you're eating starchy food, then it's probably not an issue. But if you have a blockage here and you eat something fatty, then you're going to definitely feel it. All right, so hopefully that has explained the functioning of the liver and everything, and y'all are going to be able to label a diagram like this, just in case you were to see something like this on a test. Hint, hint. All right, I'll see y'all in class. Have a great day. Oh, and thank you for tuning in to X-Ray Education.